I'm John Kovach. I'm a newspaper editor. I'm a radio announcer. I'm a high school football coach. And since I was old enough to stand on the side of a stream next to my dad, I've been an angler. I've fished with bait, lures, and flies. I've fished with spinning gear, fly rods, jigging poles, and tip-ups. I've stood on ice, waded rapids, and been tossed about the deck of a boat. And I want you to love fishing, be it freshwater or salt, heavy flows, high seas, or cutting through a foot of ice, as much as I do, no matter what the quarry, no matter the tactics, no matter the chosen tackle. Welcome to Yankee Fisherman. Good Thursday afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Yankee Fisherman, presented by the Dock Shop on the HAN Network. John Kovach with you. Another Thursday, incredibly hot out there. A lot going on, though, particularly on the water. The big news, whales. And the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration is warning boaters. There are a number of videos out there of whales breaching in the sound. Humpbacks, according to NOAA, they create bubble clouds, then lunge through, they corral the prey in that and then lunge through it. They're worried about collisions between boats and whales. Stay away from them. If you see them, it's awesome, but don't go near them. Stay away. There's one off of New Jersey that may have been the victim of a collision with a boat. But if you are out on the sound, and a lot of us are this time of year, be alert for whales and report the sightings. You can report those to NOAA, DEEP, Mystic Aquarium. There are any number of people. There's a story on that on any of our HAN Network websites. Not quite as big as the whales is the new product from Plum Island Swim Baits. We met them a couple weeks ago when we previewed Big Doug's Memorial Saltwater Shootout. Got a chance to visit with the guys from Plum Island Bait, and they told me a little bit about their stuff and about the new product. Let's have a look. We're with Gabe Ravizza, Mike Preet from Plum Island Bait Company. Guys, you've just introduced a new bait to your line. We talked about it a little bit when you were on a couple weeks ago talking about Big Doug's Memorial Saltwater Shootout, the 10-inch eel. Mike, tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we came up with the 10-inch eel because of the impending eel bite that comes every summer. We started out with some smaller prototypes, and after fishing them and testing them for quite a while, the 10-inch eel seemed to fish the best. The action on it is incredible. You could rig it straight through with a jig head, weightless, or we like rigging it through the side. Gives the bait a little bit of a thinner profile, but better action.
Now, is that with a jig head from the side, or
yes,
with the weedless?
With a jig head from the side. You know, weightless, it's done really, really well. Late spring, early summer, when the fish are actively feeding, the water's still a little bit cooler. The weightless, reeling it slow, has been deadly.
This is the weightless rig?
Right, Gabe, you can rig this weighted or weightless. So that's just going to corkscrew into the head of the bait?
Yep.
And now we've got a weedless.
Weedless, weightless setup.
So that's going to be good, like if you're fishing these eelgrass beds right close to the shore.
Yeah, if there's a topwater bite going on, or if you're in shallower water, perfect.
So it's good to have. So you've got both the weighted jig and you've got the weedless, weightless setup here. Perfect.
Well, has been deadly.
How many guys have gotten a chance to try this? Just a handful?
Just a couple. It's mainly been us. Jason Jadek from Bobby J's. He's been fishing them right along, and with great success. Everybody's really done well with them.
You can use these both from the boat and the shore, correct?
Yes. Actually, where we're standing here, Bradley Rock, we've waded in there and fished them right around the rocks and done really well on them.
They cast far. They weigh over an ounce each, and you can really cast them.
How
really
heavy a rod do you need to throw that?
Not heavy. We use St. Croix Avid inshore blanks from medium action to medium heavy action, and it throws them just fine. And the rods have enough backbone where you could drive the hook home.
Speaking of the hook, you've got a good size hook on that. We've seen it as big as an 8/0.
Yes, 8/0 on the 1 ounce jig heads and 6/0 on the 3/4 and 1/2 ounce.
And that will help the guy who might not be used to fishing this style?
Yeah, the reason why we designed them that way is because of the good hook exposure. They have great hook exposure. So for anglers that aren't that experienced on fishing soft plastics, if they're kind of asleep at the wheel or they're not sure what they're looking for feel wise, that hook is out there, and the odds are you're going to hang a fish.
So if you're bouncing it off at the bottom like you might want to do sometimes, this is perfect because you've got, you know, 1.5 inches of hook.
Yes.
That's showing.
Yeah, there's so much hook showing. I mean, there's literally 3/4 to an inch of hook showing out of the top of the bait. You know, and being a black nickel hook, the hook is hidden. It's not shining like a silver hook. So I mean, it just kind of it makes the bait fluid. There's nothing out of place with it.
So the 10-inch eel joins the other fish in your
Yes.
in your line. What else have we got?
9-inch mondo, 7.5-inch eel, a 6-inch eel, 6.5-inch split tail.
So we know what you're catching them on up here. Did going down to Florida allow you to test your Plum Island swim baits on some new species?
Absolutely, absolutely.
What else did you catch?
We went down at the end of February, early March, and the intent was to get tarpon. We got there, we were told by a bunch of people that it's too cold, tarpon weren't in yet. But we decided to go fishing anyways. First cast, we hung a 40-pound tarpon. Next cast, Mike hooks into a 60-pound grouper. Fought it for about an hour before it finally came to shore. The whole trip we caught probably close to a dozen tarpon, grouper, jacks. It was just
The mackerel bite was incredible too.
Yeah.
The Spanish mackerel and the Ceros they were tearing them up. I mean, it was a great bite.
And all on something they had never seen before, because they had just been available up here.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was our test. That was kind of like a testing period for different species of fish, and it really worked out well. The fish ate them up. You know, when people were telling us nobody really fishes soft plastics here, so and there's really no fish around, so don't waste your time.
And then you've got some new stuff we can't really talk about in the works.
Yes, yeah, there'll be something coming in a month or two. Something with a great profile, another 9-inch bait.
All right, we'll be talking about that more on a future show. Now, you guys are just back from your first iCast. I can't tell you how envious I am. How was it?
It was incredible. Yeah, the time spent there, we wouldn't trade for anything. We came away with our eyes wide open. There's so much to see and so many new products coming out to the market that it's going to be great for everyone. I mean, there was things that were affordable for everyone, which is great.
For those who don't know, it's the trade show down in Orlando, as I recall.
Yes.
It's every year, and I guess you had basically a who's who in the angling industry in that room.
It's literally a building full of fishing celebrities and other celebrities. I mean, we had seen Wade Boggs and Greg Norman. I mean, anybody who's in the fishing world is there attending it, and everybody's accessible. I mean, it was really a great experience for us. We got to talk to pros and pick their brains and be able to talk shop with guys that do it for a living.
all the egos are checked in at the door for sure.
Yeah.
Which is one of the things you do find at some of these fishing events, is that it really is guys just gabbing about fishing like it's at the tackle shop, and there's no pretenses about it if it's done right.
Yep.
Who were some of the big names that you got to talk to down at ICAST?
We ran into Wade Boggs, Greg Norman, Carter Andrews, Kevin Van Dam, Mark Zona, Alberto Nee, Bill Dance. I mean, the who's who. I mean, it's everybody and anybody was there.
And a lot of guys open to talk to you?
Yeah, really easy, really accessible, easy to talk to. You know, it's common ground. Everybody's a fisherman. You know, and everybody's looking to see what the latest and greatest is, or what the next best thing is, or techniques. Not everybody uses the same techniques. They do things that we don't. We do things that they don't. So.
And now they're aware of Plum Island baits.
Yeah.
Who are some of the other people who are aware of it?
Well, actually, the friend that we went down to Florida with, he stayed with us at the hotel room. Captain Bill Brown. He is probably one of the most recognized shark fishermen in the industry, and He's had a charter boat for about 35 years now. Specializes in striper, bluefish, fluke, sea bass, and he's actually on our pro staff as well. He's been fishing them pretty much since the beginning, and he's more than excited to be on board with us.
He actually hung a couple of big blue sharks on our 9-inch Mondo a few weeks back.
Really?
Yes, yes.
On a 9?
Yeah. They went out shark fishing, and he fished our 9-inch bait and hung a couple of blue sharks on it. So he was pretty excited about the bait.
Who are some of can you mention some of the other guys who are a little bit involved?
Yeah, Jason Jadek from Bobby J's. I mean, he was the original. He was the first guy to get the first Plum Islands to test.
While we were in Florida.
While we were in Florida, and he murdered the winter bass on him. Mike Roy of Real Cash Charters. He's been in business 5 years. Sponsored by Shimano, Stormer. The guy's a machine. He's a big fish machine. He's really dialed in on what he does. You know, he does a great job. Andrew Ray, we met him via the internet actually, and he's like a surf casting aficionado up in the Cape. He does really well. Young kid.
He's a top gun.
He's a top gun. I mean, the kid's a ringer. He's a hell of a fisherman.
So the biggest thing you took away from it that you can share with us?
You know, Kevin Schmidt, who was the Harley Davidson executive for years, had a breakfast one morning, and he said that, you know, the goal in the fishing industry is to not just sell stuff. You need to create a lifestyle, and creating a fishing lifestyle is what will make your business last. And I mean, that was kind of a huge deal. I mean, it rang volumes.
We've been trying to do that, but hearing it like that just kind of drove home the point that we have to keep doing what we're doing.
And when you roll out a logo, you guys have a very distinctive logo. You've got a very distinctive bait. You're doing just that, creating a lifestyle.
Yeah. That was the plan. I mean, a friend of mine, Arnie Guzzo, who designed our logo for us, after our original design, he took it and expanded on it. I mean, we can't thank him enough. I mean, he is all but responsible for our logo. I mean, he did a great job.
We went from a cell phone design logo to a professional, high grade.
Yeah, and that was one of the tones that was at ICAST. Everybody that ran into us that saw our logo or knew who we were like, you guys have one of the best logos we've seen. And that was the common tone from everyone. Which was pretty neat, by the way. You know, you're walking around ICAST and people know who you are. It's just, it was a little overwhelming.
And you guys are doing these local, you're doing them in Brantford, as I recall?
Yep.
Yeah.
And more stuff coming out. We've got a new product here. Looking forward to talking to you more in the future.
Awesome.
Gabe, Mike, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more Yankee Fisherman presented by the Dock Shop right after this. Warm weather, light breezes, boats are in the water. There's no better place to celebrate summer than the Dock Shop. Whether in Darien at 51 Tokenique Road or Westport at 609 Riverside Avenue, the Dock Shop is where you'll find everything you need to kick off summer. From the latest summer apparel to the newest fishing tackle, the Dock Shop will help you get the most out of your next beach day or harbor cruise. At the Dock Shop, you'll find a wonderful selection of items made in the USA and right here in New England, all with a distinct nautical flair. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the coastal lifestyle, this is a unique place to shop. DockShop.com.
Walter Stewart's Market in New Canaan is your time-saving local shopping destination for the best of spring. Find many of your favorite products, from great specials on everyday items to the freshest organic produce, artisanal cheeses, and grass-fed steaks. Drop off your knives to be sharpened, grab a beautiful bouquet of spring flowers, and stop in next door for a wine tasting. Plus, their personable staff is always ready to lend a helping hand. So stop in to Walter Stewart's Market, 229 Elm Street today, or shop online at stewartsmarket.com.
Mosquitoes, ticks, gone. Guaranteed. That's what Mosquito Squad guarantees as America's most trusted mosquito and tick control company. Locally owned and operated, over 90,000 homes have been protected by Mosquito Squad using their dual protection method for season-long protection, which includes barrier spray service for eliminating mosquitoes and adult ticks, as well as supplemental programs to increase tick control. They use only USDA organic options, which are safe and non-toxic. Contact them today at www.squadctny.com or 203-893-4309. Mosquito Squad. No bugs, no bites, no kidding.
You're watching the HAN Network, and you're not alone. Nearly 1 million people have watched our live sports, news, and entertainment programming since the network launched in August 2015. Advertise on the network that reaches Fairfield County, Connecticut's most engaged audience. Contact Advertising Director Jessica Murrin at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
Welcome back to Yankee Fisherman, presented by the Dock Shop on the HAN Network. John Kovach with you. So we want to thank the guys from Plum Island Swim Baits. All right, now we've got those big Plum Island baits. We got to get them out in the water where the fish are. Well, Matt Lejeune's going to help us out with that right now. We're with Matt Lejeune. We are on the shores of the Long Island Sound in Madison. We're talking Surfcast 101. We're finally at the point where we can discuss the rods, and we're looking at about 9-10 feet of fishing rod there with a pretty hardy reel on it, Matt.
Yeah. So this is a 10-foot rod. It's a fiberglass rod made by Lamy Glass. This is Lamy Glass GSP 1201M. It's kind of the gold standard of surf rods, up and down the East Coast. It's 10 feet. It's got a medium bend. It bends pretty soft, back towards the reel. It covers most of the fishing because it throws a wide range of weights, and it can even throw live eels without, having the hook pull through the eel itself.
Now, how heavy is the range of plugs? What are we looking at?
I would say I'm not going to throw anything over 4 ounces with this rod. It's not really built for that, but anything from like an unloaded redfin, which is probably 3/4 of an ounce, up to 3.5 ounces, I will throw with this rod. And like I said before, this is a great rod for eels. This is kind of a stouter. It's a stouter rod, heavier for fish into like 30-35 pound range. It'll turn them in current, and you can count on this rod. It's kind of a bulletproof rod in the rocks. I got a bunch of scratches all over it from climbing on rocks and grabbing onto different things in the surf.
Can't be afraid to dig it?
No, but so I've been using this in the rivers this spring, and it's paired with a Shimano bait runner. This is an 8000 model, and this is the first year I've used this reel. It's been nice. It's real smooth, but I just don't need a fully sealed reel in the freshwater environment, as opposed to out here in the Sound.
And what else have we got there?
So in a few weeks, when I switch over to fishing the salt primarily, this is an 11-foot CTS. It's a vapor trail. It's rated 3 to 6 ounces. It's a much faster action rod. I like this for plugging. So it really, it's way more sensitive than the Lamy Glass is, but it's a lot thinner too. It's not as robust in terms of taking a beating on the rocks. So I do try to baby it a bit when I'm out there. It's just, I don't know. I just don't have the same confidence I do in that.
Everybody's got a favorite rod.
Right.
We're clear now as to which one's yours.
I like this rod better for most of my fishing,
right,
especially in the salt. But I have more confidence in that won't break during my outing.
There you go.
Than I do on this one.
You talk about sealed. Now, is that a sealed one?
Yeah. So this is a fully sealed reel. This is a Z-Bass 22. It's one of their smaller reels. It's got full seals in the drag. It's got full seals in the main body. I had it serviced this year. There was no water intrusion on the inside, which was nice.
That's important.
I've owned this reel for 4 years now, and they did have to replace the bearing and the roller guide, only because I had gotten a grain of sand in there. It was making a terrible noise. But this can go underwater, be dumped, and for maintenance wise, I'm doing a rinse on both reels, but especially this one because I'm getting it in the salt water.
And that's one of the things we haven't talked about, but really, how much of the equipment do you want to rinse out at the end of a saltwater day?
All of it. All of it. I'm kind of the 75%er, I guess. 75% of the time I will rinse my gear, and the other 25 is I was probably too tired to do that. But it is very important because we want this stuff to last. This reel's retail value is up there, so you want to protect that and your investments in the gear that you're using.
Now, this was a great introduction. People who want to learn more about surfcasting in the Connecticut area can turn to Connecticut Surfcasters Association. How do they join that?
Absolutely. So we're actually on the grounds of where we have our surf meetings for Connecticut Surfcasters. You can join the club by just coming to a meeting. They're always free. It's the first Wednesday of every month, 7 p.m. Right here at Madison Surf Club. It's 87 Surf Club Road, and sign-ups are $35 for a year membership, and we offer a lot of local and abroad trips. If you want to learn from some of the best guys around, this is the way to do that.
All right, Matt, you've briefed us on how to get started. Let's see you wet a line.
All right.
So it's a two-handed cast. Are we stepping with it?
You can. On a sand beach, I usually step with my cast, step into the cast. If I'm on a rock and your feet are, immobile because you can step in any direction.
Right.
Be in the water. I use a straight 12 o'clock right over the top cast, but yeah, two hands. You're using one as a pivot point, you're using the other to pull down. It's almost like I guess it's probably like almost like a sledgehammer swing.
Okay.
You're not bringing your two hands together at the
And you're on a pretty slow retrieve right now, it appears?
Yeah. Yep. But depending on what you're using, I'm casting a darter plug that does swim down. So I'm going to use a slow retrieve, but if you're throwing a bucktail, it's going to be a slow to moderate retrieve.
Right.
Just enough to keep it up off the ground and out of the rocks.
And what about, I've got an SP minnow you tied on here?
Same thing. You might at first crank it down to get it to a depth, and then you're going to back off to slow to moderate.
So fast to sink it, and then slow down and bring it in.
Exactly.
Okay. And I'm safe to cast here without worrying about crossing you, or?
Yeah, cast over the island there. Your plug's going to move to the left. You're out one out.
I have no idea where that even went.
I'm going to pick the spot that's on the right. I'm not looking at where I'm casting. I'm going to look at, maybe that light cloud line. It's probably about 30 degrees up.
Okay.
I'm going to be back here. I got my water, or the lure just at the water surface. I'm going to step. I'm going to bring this forward. Start pulling down, and then power through the cast this way. I'm not gonna half-ass it. I'm just gonna step into it, get some power,
So I'm coming straight back. The reel is up, going right above the water. I'm loading, letting the rod load, and then
There you go.
like that.
There you go.
I'll take that. You tuck the long end under your arm.
Right between your legs.
Okay. They have a braid on this one. Why is that?
Braid.
Yeah, braided line.
I like braided line because it's much more sensitive than mono. It doesn't have the stretch.
Okay.
It casts farther. It doesn't have the memory that the mono has. And then you'll notice on there I have probably a 4.5 foot mono leader.
Right. I'm just noticing the braid now. I noticed the mono leader,
Yep.
and I never thought about braid till now when I went to cast it. And we're just blind casting here. We have no reason to believe there's anything here.
Well,
We saw the birds.
We saw some bait and some birds diving, so that's a good sign. Not a typical time of day that I fish, but because it is spring run and there are fish being found in the migration process, yeah, we can catch some.
And we'll be back with more Yankee Fisherman presented by the Dock Shop after this. Warm weather, light breezes, boats are in the water. There's no better place to celebrate summer than the Dock Shop. Whether in Darien at 51 Tokenique Road or Westport at 609 Riverside Avenue, the Dock Shop is where you'll find everything you need to kick off summer. From the latest summer apparel to the newest fishing tackle, the Dock Shop will help you get the most out of your next beach day or harbor cruise. At the Dock Shop, you'll find a wonderful selection of items made in the USA and right here in New England, all with a distinct nautical flair. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the coastal lifestyle, this is a unique place to shop. DockShop.com.
I really wanted something that felt like a home. Coming from a big house, I wanted the feel of a home as opposed to a condo. My property taxes on my single-family home were close to $20,000 a year. Now that I've downsized and I'm in a townhome, and because of the condo tax laws, my fees have gone from $20,000 down to about $5,300 with the star exemption. There is no other townhome that compares in the area. This is where I want to be.
Give your day a jumpstart with the latest news, sports, weather, and more on Coffee Break, live on the HAN Network, weekdays at 11 a.m. Connecticut news doesn't get any more local than on Coffee Break.
I'm Frank Granito. And I'm Donald Ing for the HAN Network. Tune in to Nutmeg Sports Monday through Wednesday, where we bring you all the top stories for Connecticut sports. From players and coaches' interviews to expert opinions with local sports editors, no one gets you closer to Connecticut's games than Nutmeg Sports. Nutmeg Sports, Monday through Wednesday at 2 p.m. on the HAN Network.
Thanks again to the guys from Plum Island Swimbaits and Matt Lejeune for helping us out with this week's show, teaching us some new stuff. Speaking of new things, there's a kayak that you can pack. Milford Mere, Jill Dion did a story on it. Let's take a look at Jill's work.
Day Moore of Milford is part of a team that has created Packiac, a packable kayak that you can take apart, put together, and pretty much take anywhere.
Yeah, the real beauty of this too is that it goes together in under 5 minutes, and it disassembles in under 5 minutes. So there's no hesitation about leaving it set up or only wanting to assemble it once at the beginning of the summer and take it apart at the end of the summer. This is just boom, you're in the water in under 5 minutes.
We saw how to take the Pack-Yak apart at the end of the day, and then how to stack it back together like a nesting Russian doll so that you can carry it or roll it away from the water.
And just an update on that, they exceeded their Kickstarter goal. So they're in really good shape there to get that on the market. You can read a lot more at milfordmeer.com. Great job by Jill Dion on that. A few weeks ago, we were out on the Pootutuck River, and we've got some video from that. They're going to be back out there trying to help bring back the brookies in Deep Brook and in the Pootutuck this weekend with an in-stream habitat project. They need volunteers middle school age and over. You're going to roll rocks, you're going to pull out the beaver dam, you're going to plant trees along the banks that you can see in some of those shots. This is from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Saturday, July 3rd. That's at the confluence of Deep Brook and the Pootutuck River in Newtown. Whether you can volunteer the whole day or just a few hours, you can contact Cole Baldino. That's him there. He is at 203-885-8075. He can give you directions to that. Dress up in work clothes. You're going to get wet. You want to keep the insects off. But a really cool project. We helped them prepare for that a few weeks ago. Now the next step in restoring the Pootutuck. And before we go, just found this out as we were going on the air, but our friend Steve Colton, who's been on before, he's a writer, he's a guide, he ties fly, he's an expert, he's a great guy. And congratulations to him. The August Field and Stream, his first article in Field and Stream magazine, he can add that to the places that you can find him. Great job, Steve. That's going to do it for this edition of Yankee Fisherman. We'll be back next week with some more. I think some trout fishing might be in store. We might have a little bit on the whales, and let's just see what develops. But till then, have a good time. Tight lines.